You getting to enjoy the sun? It's so nice when the sun comes up through the porch. Goober just has his spot here on the floor in the morning. Are you ready to start the vlog for the day, Goober?
He's like, I am in the sun. This is the best spot to get pets. Please pet me right now. Look at that big belly.
Is this what we're choosing to do for the day? You got your little MacBook. You got your laptop. You can do some notes today?
What the?
It's like, this isn't a work day.
Grandma, how dare you? How dare you? Oh, still wants to play.
Come on. Oh no, I've fallen over. I just want to be pet. I just want to be pet and loved. Oh, see? See, he got me. Kind of playful mood. He'll just attack you.
I'll go get you. Here I go. He was just preparing for it. He's like, no. Usually he freaks out. He's like, no. I think he's kind of wiped out now.
What are you planning to do today, Goober? What's on your itinerary list?
He has his routine. He goes to different spots in the house to nap. Usually at this time, he's over by the door.
Yeah, he was there for a while. He was over there hanging out.
And by 2, he's on the couch.
This is actually Goober's main hangout spot we made for him.
4, 5, he's on the bed. And then after that, we're home and he's just kind of following us around. You guys get boring about Bryan's rants about the cat. It's because he's never had a cat before. So he finds everything Goober does fascinating.
Yeah. So this is actually one of Goober's main spots.
Are you still filming the cat?
Yeah, I love the cat. He's our quarantine child.
He's been a lifesaver during this whole thing.
I would say Goober is actually a good way to keep us being silly. You know, if you need somebody to lighten your mood for the day, when you just look at Goober and he just goes pew through the apartment, it always makes me laugh. So I appreciate having a cat around here.
He kept interrupting my conference calls, so I put a video on to entertain him. The real parent struggle right now. So comes the meals. I can't tell if like he really likes it or if it's just making him more frustrated. He can't get them.
What are you drinking?
Disgusting concoction you make me drink every day.
I've been making a greens powdered juice for Ashley and myself every day to drink because it's a really easy way to get your vitamins and nutrients in. But if you don't put enough juice into it, it tastes very blah.
Stay healthy. Thank you for making it for me though. I wouldn't drink it otherwise if you didn't just give it to me.
You're gonna drink it and you're gonna like it. Yeah, I gotta do the Harrison Ford point. This is Goober's afternoon. He's just watching the birds on TV. See, now Ashley's doing it too. She's turning into a cat as well.
It's kind of fun to watch.
It's very peaceful and relaxing. What did you search for to find this?
Cat relaxing videos? These are supposed to be relaxing for cats?
I think this would be stress-inducing.
I know. Oh. He's really into the mice. He understands that it's not real. So he watches TV with us all the time.
You're on the edge of your seat now, Goober. At least Goober is having a stimulating afternoon. This is important to keep your cats excited during these quarantine times because they probably get really bored of us being around the entire time. So, I think you can get him.
He's still doing it.
I walked over to get the. Oh, get that bird! Get that bird!
Oh my god! I've never seen him this active before.
I literally walked over to get the camera to go film us cooking in the kitchen, and then I walked in front of Goober, and he like leaped off the sofa and got like right in front of the TV to watch his bird. We're making omelets in the kitchen, and Goober's trying to make his own omelet with some of these birds and their eggs right now, I think. You gotta always believe, buddy. Always believe. Just don't pull the sound bar off the thing.
It's been on for like 4 hours.
He's like,
He's still watching.
See, he finally got hungry, and he's like, now's the time to strike.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow, that looks good. So what are we making?
We're trying to do an omelet here. It's like apple sausage and bell pepper and spinach, egg.
One of our favorite things that we get at Trader Joe's all the time now is we get these sausages.
They're so easy.
They're so easy. They store for a long time too, and they're really delicious. So I usually eat all of them at the end of the night, but lately we've been saving little bits of food here and there. We've been making things like omelets and other recipes and just really using up all of the food because we are obviously in quarantine and we're trying to be smarter about not eating all of our stuff immediately. I ate like so much of your banana bread.
Oh, that's right. We have banana bread.
We have a little bit left.
Oh my gosh. We ate that whole thing since last night.
I ate a lot of banana bread.
We have tomato.
So tonight's just a little bit more relaxing night.
We're still technically working extra hard at both of our jobs right now.
Yeah. It's kind of nice that we can just do a home vlog while we're here. Cooper keeps looking over me like, shut up, you're going to scare the birds away.
Scare the damn birds away.
Did you get the birds? Now he's like, I forgot the birds. I'm going to come to the kitchen and get some scraps from you guys because I know you're cooking right now.
You want scrappins?
Cheese?
You want cheese? Okay.
Cheese is the winner.
Gotta do this.
See, then he rubs himself against different surfaces.
Yeah, so this is a superstitious behavior. Because, you know, cats tend to rub themselves on things once in a while because it's a cat thing to do. He's like, okay, well, I did this and then I got food. I'm gonna do this next time I get food because, like, last time I did this, I got food. They don't go together, but in his little kitty head, they do. Superstitions are a big part of human behavior. Somebody asked, what is Goober's rank in the flight crew? What is his rank? Are you an admiral?
Admiral Goober?
General? General? No.
Oh.
Okay.
Major?
You wanna be a Major Goober?
Commander?
Commander Goober? No.
His tail went up. Maybe he likes
Commander?
that. I mean, what do they call Chewie? What's Chewie's rank? He's co-pilot.
You wanna be a co-pilot? A co-captain?
He waits for any opportunity to reach over across this chasm. It's a little bit of a leap of faith, like in Indiana Jones. Sometimes when we turn our backs for a second, he gets a bite. I really like this show, Project Blue Book, on the History Channel.
Bryan's obsessed with aliens.
I love UFOs and aliens. It's a really cool show, and it's really well done. I love the actors on it. What's his name, who played Littlefinger from Game of Thrones, is on it. He plays Dr. Alan Hynek, who was one of the leading scientists who investigated all the UFO phenomenon for the government for Project Blue Book. I don't really watch Ancient Aliens. Some of that stuff's a little stretched to make a connection that's not necessarily there, but Blue Book is legit, and it's a fun dramatization. And it's also mid-century time period, so I really love watching like their apartment and checking out the cool style.
I was like, oh, look at that lamp.
There's so many
Look
cool.
at that chair.
His house in the show is so awesome. Season 2 is out. You should check it out. It's a really fun show if you need something to watch while you're at home right now. It's on Amazon and it's on the History Channel. So Project Blue Book. Go watch it. See? Littlefinger. But he's a good guy in this show.
I like him. He's smart.
He actually is a nice person in this show. We didn't tell you guys earlier, today is Monday.
Who knows what day it is anymore?
Yeah.
The world is upside down. You guys want to know what we do when we're home? That's it.
I love being home.
You haven't gone crazy yet?
No, not at all.
Really? Oh, God. You know, I tripped out yesterday. It was the first day I had stepped outside of this apartment in a week.
Really?
Yeah, we were just going to the mailbox.
I was about to say, what are you doing outside?
I was scared.
It is. It's a weird psychological thing.
I was like, why does this feel so odd? I'm like, oh, this is the first time I've stepped outside in over a week.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like, you're so secluded that anybody you see, you kind of have that sense of, like, you could be contagious, and I want to stay away from you. And it's silly, but, like, that is sort of the thought process you have to have right now a little bit to be safe.
Well, you gotta just, like, keep that 6 feet. I don't know. I didn't get that at all. I think it was just like, I was like, oh yeah, this is very much like what I went through in 2012 after my mental health breakdown and I stayed in bed for a week.
Oh, really?
It very much felt like that. That happened. It's like, I've been through this before.
It's not completely foreign to you to go through something like this. Most people are just not prepared for this reality check. I was just watching Joe Rogan, and his guest was talking about how even the little bit of things that we're going through right now, like the shortages in certain foods and being kind of quarantined inside.
Been there before.
That was exactly their point. Is like, this is what most of the world actually deals with on a daily basis, is not having these basic necessities and just having those few little things not available to us now, and like people are freaking out. And
there was like that meme going around with James Franco where, like, you know, he's like hung up on the rope and he's like, this your first time? It was like people during, you know, this pandemic, and then poor people. It's like, I relate to that.
Well, I was even thinking about this the other day in the kitchen. We stopped using paper towels. We have a few rolls.
But we're trying to save those for backup toilet paper.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we don't have very much toilet paper left.
We've been using just dish towels, and I actually picked up ShamWows, if you guys remember those infomercials.
Oh my God, guys. Bryan decided on his own, I'm going to solve all of our problems. I got this. I got us a bunch of ShamWows.
I'd been thinking about this before even all this happened. Is like, man, I use a lot of paper towels up when we're cleaning the dishes and doing stuff. And you go through like a whole roll of it in like a day or two. And you realize just over this past week or two of like not using paper towel rolls, I'm like, we got along fine without having paper towels in the house.
It's sad. It's that extra little step that we failed to take.
I actually have a big pet peeve about this too, with drying your hands off, especially see it at Disneyland. I observe people about it ever since I watched a TED Talk on this, where the gentleman was basically showing people how you can dry your hands with one of those folding paper towels you usually get out of the dispenser. That when you open up the full paper towel and when you try to dry your hands with it, it kind of breaks apart a lot easier.
Yeah.
But if you actually fold that paper towel in half, in kind of the solid form that it comes out in, you can actually, if you just use it, that one paper towel, and just use it for like 10 seconds or so, you can actually fully dry your hands off with one paper towel. And the other key beforehand is like, hey, shake your hands off a few times. You can get most of the water off. The reason I talk about things like this is the amount of waste that we produce all the time.
Well, do you know why people do that? What do you think is the reason?
It's
so
just
you
reinforcement.
You have endless amounts of paper towels you can pull out with no end and no cost to you. Every human is going to take whatever is the least amount of energy.
Yeah.
Right? So it takes this much more energy to take one paper towel and just fold it and wipe it and fold it. But and just keep pulling. That's how much energy it takes to change a behavior, you know? And that's why you notice like some paper towel dispensers will dispense paper towels a smaller amount. They make a delay now.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then you have to like literally wave your hand a million times underneath to do it again.
That's the thing, I hate hearing that sound when people go
well,
they do it like 3 or 4
paper
times.
towels from doing that now. Now they have like a little bit of a delay. But I appreciate that Disneyland is taking them out. Like you can't find them as easily unless you're kind of like in the baby changing area.
Yeah.
Then obviously they're gonna have them available there. But they're like, nope, we have air dryers for y'all. Yeah. Enjoy. Well, if you look at Batu, their design.
Their dryers are great. Well, I love Batu's ones.
The design is brilliant because you know what they do that's different?
It's right there.
It's literally right there, so the water is falling into the sink.
They have like these giant tub sinks.
You know why else it's brilliant?
What?
Like you just said, it's right there. So they're
least
making
amount of energy.
Least amount of energy.
You don't even have to move your feet. You literally just move your hands and it's right there, and you have all this room. Because sometimes like in the bathroom, the dryer's like off to the side, and then you have to get up next to somebody.
And people don't want to deal with that.
That's a really smart design. Like that's another thing I like about Batu a lot is sort of the saving qualities and the energy efficiency. They did a lot of smart things that people aren't really aware of. And Goober is trying to get in here for some food as we're talking about paper towels. But sorry for the big rant. It's just actually something that I think about a lot. Like Ashley says, human behavior and the things that we do that we don't really put enough thought into. Again, taking a couple more seconds to spend time drying your hands with that one paper towel versus grabbing 5 or 6 paper towels quickly like most people do. It's just wasting for the environment in general. Like I see people go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they just throw it in there so fast. It's a general mental state that we all have about not taking the time to just spend a little more time at something, but also more of like what Ashley's saying, just our human behaviors and not wanting to waste energy. Wash your hands, guys, but try to dry them with less paper towels.
I mean, like even using toilet paper, I used to like take a big
I haven't
amount.
wiped my ass in 2 weeks.
No.
I'm just kidding.
I took like a big wad to like wipe up like a couple drops of pee-pee. Like didn't need that much. I was learning like, oh, I can fold up the toilet paper. Like I'm just as guilty as everybody else.
I'm too.
It's kind of eye-opening to have this change happen.
Having the limited supply of certain items, it just makes you think about doing things in a different way. And I feel like we do live in a very excess culture, obviously. I mean, we go to Disneyland. We do things like that. That's a very excess thing that most of the world doesn't get to do. And we are very aware that we are very, very privileged to get to go do those things with you guys. But it's definitely interesting to take those things away that we're so used to. And like we're saying with our home vlogs, we can still have fun and play and be silly with very little.
Every time I'm in the kitchen and I'm like, oh, we can reuse this tin foil. Ooh, coffee canister. We can reuse the coffee canister. I'm just like, my grandma would be so proud. All those things that were like, come on, grandma, like, stop it. It's only been like literally a day or 2 of having to do this. And I'm like, I get it, grandma.
But it's such a quick switch of like your mindset of like, I might be limited on this thing. Is it worth throwing it out? Is it really bad to throw it out?
Right?
I do that with like plastic Ziploc bags, the big ones. Like if you open something, you need to put it in a bag to reseal it temporarily, like some bacon. I will usually rinse that bag out afterwards and try to use it a couple more times before we just toss it because it's totally fine.
We are wasteful creatures. Saving energy and losing money. You know what it is? There is such a disconnect between the energy it takes for you to get the money, the energy that you save from using the money. Yeah. There's such a disconnect there. Just figure that out.
Well, I've heard of them talk about that too, the association of giving somebody physical cash where you literally can count like the dollar bills versus having a credit card, which is not actual cash. You have a different association of the value of those two things when you exchange it for something. Like
less tangible.
Yeah, and that's actually not to poo-poo on Disney, but they do a lot of things like that. They're actually very smart marketing-wise to create that sense of instant gratification where you don't even think about you're handing money over to them. So prime example, one of my favorite things that they made for Batu is the Batu Spira, which is a gift card. It's a metal gift card that you can put money on and you can buy things with, and it makes you feel kind of more like a Star Wars character in the park. The smart thing about this, which is very much like a credit card, is you forget that this is actually money and you're in this idea of, oh, I want to use my gift card and play along, that you kind of forget that this is actual money. It's so quick for you to just spend it.
Are you looking at it like a bad thing? It's not a bad thing. It's
No.
a smart thing.
It's fun. I really enjoy it, but it's a smarter thing on Disney's point because it takes away that sense of like, I'm spending money, and people just want to spend money easier with these things. Or just like in Florida, they have the wristbands, which they don't have the magic bands here in Disneyland. You can just have this thing on your wrist that basically just charges everything instead of having to pull out the credit card. Basically, it eliminates all those steps and energy, like you were saying, to do this process. You can just go like that, boom, bought. You spent the money.
Yeah, it's like that quick buy feature on Amazon.
Exactly. Whatever removes the most amount of energy and effort and gets you the result you want fastest, you're just gonna do it.
It's very true.
Yeah.
They're very smart. They probably hired a behavior analyst to figure this stuff out.
This has been an interesting vlog. This is kind of a little bit more of like a format of wanting to do like podcasts moving forward.
I know. Guys, literally every night at dinner we ramble like this.
We have these conversations all the time, and a lot of times at the end of it we're going, why didn't we record that? That was actually a good topic to talk about.
That was kind of smart of us.
So we've been talking about we want to do a podcast, and this is kind of the start of that. Doing these home vlogs is a bit of what that podcast formula is. So hey, if you guys just want to have dinner with us and talk about your day, that's what today's episode is.
Okay.
I think we talked enough. I think I talked enough.
I ate all of my food. Okay, show me your plate of food.
I have all this food to enjoy still. Ashley ate while I was talking.
Who talks the most?
I think I'm going to let Ashley sign out for us while I finish my scramby eggs omelet. Last thing I'll say is, thank you for checking your yellow safety straps today, flight crew, and playing with us and enjoying our omelet dinners. Ashley?
All right, get ready for this, guys. My ultimate sign off.